we learned a little bit about how solar streetlights work as small off-grid solar systems. But what we also want to understand is, how does the power that gets to our homes get to us? So we're standing at the corner of Massachusetts and Woodward in Highland Park. We are in the southeast corner of Highland Park. And this part of town loses power every time the wind blows too hard. We've had people lose power for as long as 5 days in the dead of winter, and recently for multiple days during a global pandemic, flash flooding, and a heat wave, right? So we've got big issues with power reliability in Highland Park. And in fact, what we've learned in our research is that that's not unique to us. DTE is actually one of the least reliable utilities in the country. They are consistently ranked in the bottom quartile of utilities nationally, and we as DTE ratepayers spend more minutes on average in the dark than most people around the country. So why is this, right? DTE is a company that prioritizes what is profitable to its shareholders, right? It's not a publicly owned company. It is a shareholder-owned company, not a public good the way your water infrastructure is supposed to be. I want to give a little sense of how does that power get to us, right? When our power gets disrupted, what is going on? So, first of all, most of DTE's power is generated with dirty fossil fuel power plants. That is nuclear, coal, and methane gas. That generates very high voltage power that is put on transmission lines that carry it incredibly long distances to get them to local substations. That is our local substation in Highland Park. It serves our entire area and the surrounding areas in Detroit. In fact, DTE shut down 3 substations around this one and gave the city a measly $150,000 for a project that saved them millions. Now theoretically, that was supposed to improve our power reliability, but we still have huge power outages, even on the street literally 1 block away from this substation. And that's because this system is based on charging big amounts of power, huge distances, to get it to where it's used in our homes, our businesses, and our places of worship. Now what we're advocating for is more power on this side of the substation, in our local distribution area. So we can have solar on our rooftops and battery storage that serves our local areas, and local small-scale wind power that actually generates resiliency and means we aren't reliant on power that's coming all the way from Monroe, all the way from really West Virginia and Wyoming, where the resources are actually mined, right? We should have power generation in our communities, in our control. Now, the reason we advocate for these off-grid solar-powered streetlights we just talked about is because they're resilient to grid failure. If the grid goes down, those lights will still stay on. If those lights have Wi-Fi connected to them, the way the lights we're putting up at Avalon Village will, that means we have a communication system and lit streets that will work even when the grid goes down, and those things are most important. Now, that's a great start. But for those of you who are looking for additional ways to get involved, we also need to take action to make DTE better on outages. Right now, our Michigan Public Service Commission is considering rules that will mean DTE has to pay you more money when the power goes out. They have to not raise your rates for their poor performance, and they've got to actually make their infrastructure work better and invest more in this distributed clean energy and less in these dirty fossil fuels that are killing us. So for those of you that want to take action, you can go to workforme.dte.good.do/outages. You can send a comment right to the Public Service Commission talking about your experiences with power outages and calling on them to make DTE do better.